Father, can we meet you?
Yeah, thank you, Tony. My name is Canice Enyiaka, priest of the Catholic Diocese of Ahira.
Okay, in the interest of those who are joining us for the first time on this marvelous charity program, can you tell us how it all began? What's the origin of Stewards of Hope Foundation?
Thank you very much. The Stewards of Hope Foundation started a couple of months after my ordination. I saw the social challenges people were facing at that time and started doing my own little stuff to, respond to those social questions. That's how I started, putting things together to assist families in need, providing foodstuff and clothing and things like that. Gradually, it started expanding to what we have today. But when I moved to the United States to further my studies, I kind of restructured everything to what we have today as Stewards of Hope Foundation. So that's kind of the brief history of what you see today.
So can you put a peg on the particular year it all started?
Okay, so officially as an organization, we started in 2012. So this is more than a decade we started this project.
That's great. So having been in this philanthropy business for over a decade, can you recount the successes you have recorded so far?
I think the most important thing here is to look at the human dignity question. That's what I will consider the most vital success of the Stewards of Hope Foundation work, because we have, in our own little way, tried to respond to these challenges by considering different focus areas. First is the provision of wheelchairs to persons with disability, and the way we also try to help them to be contributors to the society, because it's not just enough to give someone wheelchair. After that, what next? So the what next is the question of social mobility and economic mobility. If you provide the social and economic mobility, you are moving that individual away from what most people call the nuisance of the society to a productive member of the society. So we provide wheelchairs and then we empower them. So we, after empowering them, we try to engage them also, because again, you have to create a certain relationship, right? Relationship is very important. So we try to follow them, be part of their journey. Another aspect we have tried to engage ourselves in is the provision of backpack, where we consider the pain and the suffering of many families in the public primary schools, where parents are not even able to provide these basic needs. So we try to package these backpacks and move from one rural community to another to help our young people in these primary schools to have the materials they need to help them in their education. We also work with orphanages to provide some of the things these orphanages need to take care of the babies. Recently, I helped a couple of individuals in the United States to adopt children from these orphanages that we support. And I want to tell you the joy that these children that could have been killed or thrown away have families they call their own today is not something you can quantify. So that's an aspect of the work we do. The next focus area is the provision of food items to poor families. The van you see behind us is the tool we use for these. Every month we go to one community and look at some of the individuals in need, provide them with staple food items, and we also spend time with them because, again, loneliness is a challenge in our communities. We may not know that. So we don't drop it. We spend time with these families. And then finally, we have the microcredit support to poor widows. And that has also helped some widows to take care of their families and to run away from the difficult situations the society has created, right? But recently, we added another, if you want to call it feather, which is the provision of medical supplies to rural hospitals. We just started that in 2024. We intend to visit about 6 hospitals in different communities, but number one is the Diocesan Hospital Obo. I am so happy that we've been able to add this to the focus areas of the Stewards of Hope Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. This is indeed very laudable indeed. So let's zero in on what you have for our brothers and sisters for this year. So how many people are benefiting and what are they going home with?
Yeah. So we have different areas of what you see today. The first is the provision of wheelchairs. We have individuals from Okigwe, Owerri and Umuahia, and of course our home Mbise. Today about 40 individuals will go home with wheelchairs. That's the first part of what we're going to do today. The second is the provision of food items, rice, beans, tomatoes, groundnut oil, and some of the condiments these individuals will need to help them take care of their families. The food item distribution will reach 600 families. That's our target today.
That's great. Now, on a day like this, you normally visit schools and orphanages. Will it equally take place today?
No, it's not going to happen today because, we're going to be here till about 4 p.m. But we already identified the schools and the orphanages we'll visit through the week, as well as the hospitals that will receive the medical supplies I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So the next couple of days will see us visit these schools, orphanages, and hospitals.
So, this project is cost intensive. What would you how do you get the funds?
Well, you remember Abraham telling Isaac God will provide, right? Yeah. So it's a journey of faith. You believe. I have to tell you the truth. Around June, July this year, I was not sure this would take place because that was when I shipped the container with these medical supplies I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So I was not sure, but I believed, right? And what you see today is the result of that belief. True friends and God's own way of doing things. I prayed to God because I know how people are suffering, not only here in Imo State, in the eastern part of Nigeria, but the whole country is hurting, right? Africa is hurting. So I was really worried, that we were not going to do this. That was a very big concern. But I'm glad that it is happening. And as you said, cost intensive. God, through human instrumentalities, has provided, and we're happy.
That's great. Any setbacks? Do you have any regrets?
Well, you do the work of God, you face challenges. So that will not be regret. Those are challenges. And challenges are very important because challenges help you to define yourself. So when challenges come, you make them stepping stones instead of stumbling block, right? So challenges are there, no regrets, I tell you.
That's great. Finally, Father, your parting remarks to these needy brothers and sisters.
Number one, God is real. God is aware of your condition. God does not disappoint. So do not lose hope. It will be all right. But I think for it to be all right, we must make use of what God has given us as a human family. It's not going to be all right when we don't do our work. So from the government to the civil society, to other individuals, other organizations around the world, within Nigeria, we have to intentionally do our part. When we do our part, recognizing the dignity of every human being, we can move to a step that elevates and promotes the beauty of human dignity. Thank you.